We're good?
We're good.
We're good? Un, dos, tres.
I need to work out what the next part of that U2 song is.
Oh, not that again. Jeez. When I was looking at that episode, I was like, why did I even now, I'm thinking why I said that. Just making sure everything was recording. I think I turned off the settings. No, it's red dots there. We're good to go.
We're good.
It's been a while since we recorded.
Yeah, we had a bit of a break because we doubled up on a week back.
You had a bit of a situation that we probably don't have to speak about.
We can a little bit. We can dive into a little bit.
What happened?
We'll dig into the football side of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
it's like that. It's on Twitter. It's like explain the situation, but in football terms. Have you seen those?
Yeah. Okay, so in football terms, my house was broken into last week.
That's not football terms.
No, but so they stole my wife's car. But in my car was a click and collect order for PFC.
Yeah.
So I was due to drive the next morning to Penenka to drop off this click and collect order. Anyway, we recovered the cars, which is all fine and good, blah, blah, blah. But the football side of this is we got CCTV of the people that stole the cars, and there's a young girl that you see her take the PFC order out of her car, tear it open, and she walks off out of the camera showing her partner in crime, the shirt that she stole. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is actually a piss take. Like, you break into my house is one thing, but for this, don't steal my kit, man. Come on.
Could have used a good promo. But I was saying, so I think in football terms, that will be Alan Pardew dancing against Man United.
Yeah, completely. Or Van Gaal doing the dive.
No, I think it's more Alan Pardew dancing against United than realising they've lost.
Yeah, I think
so
they
it's
definitely.
Like, don't celebrate too early.
Well, I hope they lose. I don't know if they're in jail yet, but we'll find out. Anyway, we're back.
We're finally back. We had a good pop-up yesterday.
Yeah, it was great. It was good.
A few things planned coming up, but how was yesterday?
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. It's so nice to see familiar faces come back time and time again, which is really good. And then, just a lot of new people. And I think, people coming in, discovering, what PFC is all about, which is great. So, look, if you want to have some fun and, talk some shirt, come down.
It was a good one for me. Like I uploaded a video the other day, hoping to do a lot more of those. The hardest part is you and I are artistic people, photographers, but the biggest problem with the creative industry and people in the creative industry is we're lazy as hell. We leave things to the last minute. I was always that guy in high school where I left my homework the night before, but I feel like that was the best creative choice. It's even though like now we're recording a podcast and I forgot to click the timer.
Yeah.
So the timer's on 0. We live and learn every day.
Okay.
But podcast was great. Spoke to a lot of people. I met a gentleman from the UK.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
The guy with the 2 sons, or I'm not sure if there was
grandsons.
a dad
I think he
or
was.
grandchildren. They were one was a Pompey supporter, and the other one was a Chelsea supporter, and they were from Stevenage. And that topic, I think we spoke about it the other day. Like, it's funny because we always have topics, but this won't be a long one.
Yeah.
And I spoke to the kid, and I'm like, "What do you think about Aussies being fans of teams in the UK?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's fine as long as you are dedicated to one team only. That's totally fine." And I'm like, "Well, you guys are from Stevenage, but you both support teams from away from Stevenage. You don't support your local, which is Stevenage."
Yeah.
Shout out to Salmon for saying support your local. But I think like if you identify with a certain club and their passion, that's who you want.
Well, you never know, right? Like, so these guys were there with their grandpa. Their grandpa, they may have moved to Stevenage.
Yeah,
they could have lived in London, which is why one of them supported Chelsea. The grandpa might support Chelsea or someone.
Cheaper expenses.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. You can't say, like, I'll give you a perfect example, right? So my mum's family is from Calabria. I was saying Calabria. They moved up north for work. And a lot of the, like, my cousins or my mum's cousins, like, which is like a sort of a younger gen, all support Sampdoria. So, okay, they've migrated, they've probably gone through school and, it's been maybe a bit impressionable or whatever, but they changed.
That's a good point. It's a good point. I think that's the thing with football, if you identify. But it was a great event. We're looking forward to the next one, October 9th. It's the day after my birthday. Yeah. A week before your birthday.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
We didn't plan that.
No, that was just, our parents did.
It was a year apart. But look, exciting times. Stay tuned for that. A few things to announce. Hopefully, there's going to be a lot of things. I know Ultra Football is having a rave the night before for Skylab Radio.
Yeah, wow.
A little DJ deck right there. So that's awesome for them to do that.
That's pretty
hoping to tease a few things over time. Penenka Food Store. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. It's been what a weird week in football we've had.
It has been.
Very strange. Like, there's been, from a Premier League sense, nothing.
No
and
football
obviously, it was quite sad with the passing of the Queen.
Well, look, I think people were saying, disappointing, no Premier League, but there wasn't another football. I got to watch Inter Milan. Didn't have to lose my time. So 2:00 game against Torino. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I have been able to watch other games here and there. There is the Europa League, but like you said, there was no Premier League. Yeah. Why? What happened, mate?
So obviously, I don't know if it was. I guess it would have to be the FA's decision to give a week off.
Yeah.
In respect to the Queen's passing, and I don't know. Like for me, I'd love to hear what everyone else thinks. I don't know if this was the right or the wrong way to go about it. I think my opinion towards this is I think football is really powerful from a political sense, and from a lot of levels actually. And we see with like the Black Lives Matter, that they can make a stand for the whole season to remind people that it's this is what it is, whatever the message needs to be.
And people did have a go at the ones doing the kneeling down, which
Yeah,
I thought was respectful in a way, because it's like having the armbands and the shoelaces for different things. But they had a whole week off.
A whole week, and I feel like it was almost, I don't know, I feel like it's a discredit to the Queen. I feel like I would have rather games go on, players pay respect if it's a minute silence at a period of time during the game, and I would have loved to see some insane tifo, with Queen's face
Premier
on
League,
it.
tifos? I don't think they'd be banned for life to even just do something like that.
But maybe this
FA's
is a perfect
been,
exception, right? Like I feel like that could be a situation where, let's celebrate. I guess, well, if you can. I'm not too sure because we're in Australia. We don't have this. I don't know if there is a political divide between being like pro or against the monarchy, but it seems like majority of people are very much for it.
In the UK, it does seem. I saw this video on Twitter, like just thousands at the gates of Buckingham Palace, crying for her loss, and I'm like, you do know her family caused a lot of grief around the world. The amount of countries, and this is going to get too political, but like, I know in Australia we're pretty much more divided towards against the monarchy, and I think the way it was situated for the Premier League, again, there's many other leagues around the world, so football didn't stop. It just stopped in the Premier League. A lot of people are pro Premier League. They love their, Premier League because it's probably the most football shown in Australia. But a whole week off was a bit far-fetched for me because I think some ways the death or the passing of the Queen was a bit taken out of context too, because I saw McDonald's in the UK had her face on the menu order, and it's like, this lady's passed, now her face is on the before you order a McChicken, 6 nuggets and a large drink, on your night out in London, which the clubs were still going, I think.
The McLizzy.
You get me? Like, the people are allowed to go party and stuff, yet you can't watch some football. The players, a lot of them probably not even English. They have to now go through Brexit orders and stuff to even get to the Premier League. I think Diego Costa can't even sign for Wolves because of his Brexit or some sort of issue. So, like, there's all these things, like, pro against the whole English monarchy, also being in England and working in England legally. But then, like, they use it for Maccas, but they can't even do something for the Premier League and let the games go ahead. 1 minute silence, maybe a song. I think I was reading a journalist about the Athletic having the song, something for the Queen.
Was it West Ham? I think West Ham had it, God Save the Queen, because they played the day of the passing or day after.
Yeah, I think
it was too soon to cancel the game, whatever it was. I'm sure it was West Ham. It might have been. I'm pretty sure it was, but it was like this stadium erupted, and it's like that for me is an amazing sign of respect, an amazing way to sort of celebrate someone's life.
Yeah, I don't know many Premier League teams or any English teams in the football tier who is, the identity of St. Pauli, against fascism, against all that right wing, left wing sort of. They're always more about the people. Is there a football club in England or just in the UK that would be so against? I think there was Rangers. There was a situation with the guy.
Yeah,
was,
but
like,
there's religion, isn't it?
There's all that. But I think there was a photo of a Japanese guy flew to London to watch Arsenal play. He had the Tomaseo jersey. He's like, well, no game for me this week. And apparently he only travelled for 1 week. So people now, football community came together and gave him a ticket for the Champions League. Oh, wait, Europa for Arsenal.
Yeah.
So it was like, can you imagine the international travellers who, like, imagine me and my dad travelled all the way there to watch our first game at Old Trafford together. And then the game gets cancelled because...
Yeah, it would suck. Like, you can't. It's hard to compare to because it's like, you're comparing the death of someone to a holiday. Yeah. Like, and it's very much like if regardless Queen or not Queen, like, it's a very much of a third world problem when you think of it like, oh, I could have gone to play football today, but my grandma died. Like, you're not gonna have that train of thought, right? It's purely because you don't have a direct connection to the Queen.
I don't know. I think. I was reading some stats. So King George VI passed away, and the only thing that stopped was rugby and a few shops and stuff. But that was early 50s, I think.
Yep.
And like to think that now that situation with the monarchy and the Queen and everything's just moved on for them, like the burials on the 19th. I think football should have just had maybe even delay a game like 1 day or even a couple of hours.
I think a day's all right. I remember when I went to Thailand a few years ago. One of their.
Oh yes, I remember.
I think it was the king passed away. And I know that culturally, that their royal family is like a very big deal. They still have politicians as well, so I don't exactly know the ins and
UK
outs
has
of
the same thing, yeah.
the setup. Yeah. I don't exactly know the setup, but it was like a serious state of mourning, and I was completely shocked because comparing it from our perspective, where it was, if that happened in Australia, it would be traumatic, it'd be publicised, but things wouldn't stop. So I thought it was very interesting. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think we're getting too political here.
Yeah, we're getting 2 minutes. Let's go to Harry Potter moving to coaching Chelsea.
Was that deliberate or was that accidental?
Yeah, no, it was deliberate. There's just a lot of things like Graham Potter
Yeah.
and the prisoner of London.
It'd be funny if Abramovich was still, I don't know, it'd be like the prisoner of Abramovich instead of Azkaban.
Oh my God.
That'd be good. Potter, overrated, underrated? What do you reckon?
Look, I haven't really. You've put his teams managed here.
Yeah.
I haven't really taken notice of him. I know I really was giving some love to Scott Parker, and then of course he got sacked, and there's a few young guys around there. But I don't know. Graham Potter to Chelsea again. Footballing coaches in the Premier League. We saw. For sure, we got his name before. Was it Nunes? No, the coach from Wolves to Spurs.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
No.
Pretty rushed.
Oh, that's Santo. Espirito Santo. Yeah.
Same thing with Villa-Boas. All these coaches, they get the big rap in the Premier League. They move to another team.
It doesn't always
Fizzles out.
work. It has worked.
Yeah. I don't know. Then again, I feel like the time coaches get these days is so criticised by media too fast.
Oh,
if he
that's
does
so
go to
quick,
Chelsea,
yeah.
it'll be fine. But Cucurella, he's definitely shaking his boots.
Well, see, I heard a bit of a sus story come out of the press in the UK. And, I don't know how true this is, but we paid overs for Cucurella. And I think they said it was about 20 million over his estimated value. Oh. And there was rumours that there was some tension between Bowley and Tuchel pre-season when they went to the States.
Yeah.
And then that Chelsea paid overs for Cucurella to confirm once Tuchel's sacked that we'll get Potter in.
No.
Which is probably a masterstroke when you look at how the first 4 games played out for Brighton. But I don't know if it's... I'm still... signing Potter doesn't fill me with confidence. I'm hopeful. I don't think he's going to be a bad manager. I just don't know if he's going to be... I don't feel as confident as I did when we brought in Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
I felt like, he's going to make something happen.
If I was Tuchel, I'll be happy because, I won a beautiful trophy.
Yeah, he was pissed, but he was real pissed.
Of course you'd be pissed. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like I'd be happy. There are other coaches out there that don't get the time they need. But I think Potter to Chelsea, it's totally fine with me. I think the club itself is always going to recover. It's more small teams or even teams like Brighton who have to go then searching again. Yeah. And they get put into this situation where they're like, okay, who do we find? And now there is that rumour of Postecoglou.
Do you go with your Ange? I feel like he's in the middle of a project. It's like I don't think he's the kind of manager or the kind of person that would jump ship halfway through a season.
Yeah, because we saw that with Gerrard and we saw that with Rodgers.
Yeah.
Both went to the Premier League. Both well-known in the Premier League. Postecoglou got a lot of hate going to Celtic alone from Japan.
Yeah.
As an Aussie, we love Postecoglou because not only did he have that bust up on TV with Foster years ago.
That was so funny.
Love that. Still one of the best things to watch on TV if you haven't, check it out. But I think Postecoglou, if he does get the chance at Brighton, I think it's one of those teams that he won't have the pressure. And Brighton as a squad and a team... that they have the opportunity to stay in the Premier League, and if they go down, it's Brighton.
It is, but I feel like they're currently sitting 4th, aren't they? They're in the top 4. I feel like it's gonna look bad regardless of what the result is.
Down, yeah.
Well, even if they consistently play well and and still manage to get points, I feel like there's going to be bigger clubs that are going to do better than what they're going to be able to do.
If you're
and get more points, and they're going to drop. Like even if they drop to 7th or 6th, that's still a massive achievement for Brighton.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially 6th, like to play European football is massive. I can't see it being an easy job to walk into.
If you're Postecoglou though, this opportunity, would you take it?
No, it's that Celtic. Champions League.
I'd be a lot more confident. Yeah, that's true. I'd be a lot more confident staying at Celtic, finishing off my tenure, then going to wherever's available. But
yeah, completely.
Is there going to be that opportunity in the Premier League available?
This is the thing too, isn't it? It's you got the opportunity there. Do you take it?
Yeah. And he's built this sort of squad now. He's got 5 Japanese players. He's got an Aussie there. He's signed a few Greek players. He's got Georgian players. He's actually made a really good squad. And I look at the Celtic team sometimes, and I'm like, Postecoglou is literally having that FIFA career where he's signing players from his own previous save
Yeah,
modes.
yeah. This club has offered you to go coach them. Okay, great. I'm going. Oh man, I got all these players at this club now. I can't have to bring them all across.
He literally, we got a bit of a. Fernando, 2 seconds, guys. Yeah, so like Postecoglou, again, for me, looking at the way he's created the team at Celtic now after beating Rangers, and disappointing to lose to Real Madrid, but still played a great game.
Yeah.
Postecoglou as a coach and the squad that he's built, I would rather stay there, build this like sort of identity to then when he does leave Celtic, it's like, yes, Postecoglou left us on good terms. Like imagine he goes to Brighton, that's it, he's enemy number one at Celtic again. Rodgers was hated for a few months and then they forgot about him.
I feel like if he succeeds at Celtic, it opens up the door for a job.
Yeah.
Like, say, for example, Liverpool sacked Klopp at the end of the season.
Yeah, they won't sack him.
No, I don't think they will.
But yeah, I understand. It's just one of those things, like, I don't know. If I was Postecoglou, where would I go? I'm just trying to get comfortable on this couch.
That's okay. I genuinely see a bigger future for Ange than Brighton. And no discredit to Brighton. I think that's a massive achievement for an
off the top
Aussie.
of your head, in 3 seconds, where would Postecoglou go in Europe?
In Europe.
Like, what level, like, just any squad, what team would you reckon he could coach?
Bayern.
You're in Bayern Munich.
I feel like his
I
football
feel like
would
any
suit.
coach that goes to Bayern Munich will win a league.
Yeah, but
it's
then
such an easy thing.
yeah, Bayern I reckon he'd do well. But I feel like he's aiming for the Prem. I feel like the way his career's gravitating.
English speaking, much easier for him. Look, I could actually see him in Serie A. I could literally see his style benefit the Serie A football, like Italian football. He's got that sort of counter-attacking football. He loves playing, push the ball up, get up there, stay up there. And I feel like if he was to coach a team in Serie A, someone like, he could easily go to someone like Parma if they go up, if a promotion level. If the Premier League, if there was someone that goes like Derby County, if they had a bit of money, he could definitely coach a team that goes up to the Premier League.
I'd love to see him in a big club though, like a big club.
I don't know. I don't think they would risk it.
Maybe Leicester would be a good one because they're not travelling too well, and I reckon they.
Leicester's on they've got a bit of financial problems happening now too.
Yeah, but
if I was Poster, I would not go to a club that's got any turmoil sort of in between inside it because that'd be such a shit show for him.
Yeah, look, he probably would, but I just feel like he's that sort of person that could turn that sort of stuff around.
I wouldn't want to be the scapegoat. I don't want to end up.
No, and I guess that's one thing. It's really hard to control.
But it's funny actually. Talking about Potter to Chelsea, you look at his stats like Swansea City, Östersund, I think Norwegian.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Leeds, Carnegie.
Yeah.
Postecoglou is on the same level in a sense. Brisbane Roar, victory for like a couple of days.
Yeah. Australia,
national team, which is probably the almighty for him. And then went to Yokohama, and then Celtics. Probably better than Potter when you think about it.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I guess you take
I know he did well at Östersund, and he was there for a while. And then he was only 1 season at Swansea, and then went to Brighton, and he's been there since 2019. So he has been there a while, but Premier League probably better than Yokohama.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to compare. I think it's a bit of apples and oranges here because, like, I know there's stints in the A League comparing it to like Leeds Carnegie. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard.
He had a pretty good run in the A League.
Speaking of Potter, I actually heard a pundit come out the other day and say they compared him to toothpaste, and I was like, toothpaste. I'm like, how do you compare a coach to toothpaste? And she goes, every player that he has, he squeezes the absolute last drop of potential out of them. And I'm like, that is the worst analogy.
It makes sense though.
But it does make sense.
You get the best potential out of it.
Yeah, but it's like, and then she goes, like when you've got that bottle of toothpaste and you just don't want to get rid of it or you don't have time to go to the shops, you literally squeeze it, roll it, you do everything you can to get it.
You're the type of person that when you get the fresh toothpaste, you put so much on it, and then towards the end, you get so small, and you're like, next tube of toothpaste, I'm going to like benefit from using small amounts.
You know what I hate? I love like the first like squeeze.
Why?
Because I don't know, there's something like the bottle's perfect, it's not dinted, it's nice, and then you squeeze it and you're like, oh, fucking piece of shit. So that's done.
Should we take a break? Go to the next topic.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Done.
The brand new Mbappe signature Nike Zoom Mercurial Superfly 9s have just been released at Ultra Football. They have a luxurious vibe with a special swoosh and diamond KM logos. This model has taken a visual facelift from the launch edition, rocking a berry-coloured base and gold logos with a subtle all-over pattern that is worn exclusively by Kylian Mbappe himself. Grab yours now at ultrafootball.com.
So you mentioned back from our break. Wasn't a break. Literally just had one sip of coffee.
Yes.
But it's for context for our recording processes. So you mentioned toothpaste and mentioned Brighton. Now, Lamptey, he definitely was one of the players that Potter.
Yeah. Interesting situation with Lamptey, actually. He's got the potential to obviously play for England. And I know that fullback position, I guess he can kind of bomb on a little bit further, but you've obviously already got Trent Alexander-Arnold, you've got Reece James, you could even drop Kyle Walker in there. There's a few options, right? Like, there's heaps.
It's funny how, like, we all look at the English squad and we're always like, they have the potential of winning so much, just they never have the potential of winning anything.
That's been a 30, 40 year problem, really.
Some amazing footballers in there in the English system.
Yeah.
We see so many, but when certain players have dual nationalities, there is that opportunity for the players to look for game time and representation elsewhere.
And it seems like countries, outside of, I guess, whatever you're going to consider is the major or more successful countries, seem to be kind of trying to flex that arm a little bit more. Like, as Australians, we see it a lot more now, signing like players like, oh my God, what's his name that plays in Scotland? I blanked. Striker.
Boyle.
Yeah, Martin Boyle.
Even Sutar.
Sutar as well, correct.
Yeah.
So,
Apostolos Joannou.
There's heaps, right? There's heaps.
They've got Australian heritage who moved overseas. All their families literally lived in Australia for a little bit and then gone back over there.
Yeah, and so obviously Lamptey has this opportunity now to sign. As we say, sign like he's playing for a club.
Never been to Australia before.
Really?
Yeah. That was the first time I think he played a friendly here. Oh no, he played against Vietnam. It was the first time or something. I'm probably wrong.
That was in Melbourne.
Yeah.
That pissed down that night. I remember that. So obviously, he's got this opportunity to play for Ghana or show allegiances with Ghana. Mm-hmm. And it just brought up that age-old discussion of players that have had the opportunity to play for.
But Lamptey never played for England though.
No,
youth level.
Yeah, correct.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like we saw Diego Costa go from Brazil to Spain, or vice versa, was it?
Sorry.
He's dying.
Sorry.
The way like Laporte did the same thing. A lot of players have, but yeah, I think Lamptey is a big loss for England.
Yeah, I think so. Look, they're spoiled for choice, but at the same time, there's nothing to say that either of Trent or Reece James could get injured before a World Cup, and then all of a sudden you need someone as a backup, or you need an additional.
Is he doing the friendly for him coming up?
I'd assume not. I think that this is why this sort of all came about. I think it's he was probably open to selection and then opted to go the other way, which is interesting.
If I was Lamptey, I'd definitely choose the Ghana. I know when it comes to heritage, you go for whoever you feel more connected to.
Yeah.
If I ever had that opportunity and Australia or Macedonia knocked on my door, I would have chosen Macedonia. Just because I know in my situation, I probably wouldn't be better than the first 22 selected. So I think playing for Macedonia would be a bigger pull for me.
Yep.
I think that's one thing I look at Kulusevski down, who, even though he's playing for Sweden now, even Ibrahimovic, who's got, roots in the Balkans, he's chosen Sweden because he knows he can be a king there, but he knows he's the top 11 players. So Lamptey could be starting 11 always, Ghana, represent Ghana, have that on his chest and badge being like, this is my country.
Yeah.
While playing for England, he'll probably be selected once in a while. And if a new coach came in, it's like, well, now I've lost the selection thing.
Is Ibrahimovic a bit of a different situation, though? Because I know he's got Bosnian heritage.
Yeah.
If you look at how Bosnia's gone from an international level, since they were Yugoslavia, they haven't been very good.
Yeah, but like you look at the Kosovo situation too, where the country came about they were allowed in FIFA to have representation national team. Players then left their country of current, like either Switzerland, Norway, and they've gone and played for Kosovo. So the recent Melbourne City side, Valon, he's gone to Kosovo.
Yep.
But Ibra could have done that. But I think for him, Sweden gave him the sort of freedom to be who he was.
Yep.
So him representing Sweden was more like, I'm representing the country that gave me my life.
Yeah. Which I think there's a lot to respect about that, especially in a country like Australia where we live, there's so much migration.
Yeah, well, the current squad probably not as much as what it was in the early
Previously,
2000s.
yeah,
like all the...
There's so many European descents.
That was because of the migration at the time. So like a lot of the teams that we had, like Stadiovskis, Kalinas, all that, they were all migrants' sons and daughters and like of that families. You look at the current generation we have, like Alu Kual and Mabil, it's that African migration, and that's with England too. They had a lot of Jamaican families, and that's the whole thing with the monarchy. And unfortunately, when that move happened, but I love seeing players like Hudson Doy. I can't pronounce his name right. Is it Eze? Eze?
Yeah.
Eze?
Yep.
Even Zaha. All these players going to their mothers or fathers' roots and representing that country, because to them it probably means a lot more.
Yeah, it's. I think it's look.
Same as the Turkish players playing for Germany.
Yeah, correct. But I think there's a bit of an Ottoman Empire kind of influence through Germany quite heavily. So
Yeah, there is a lot of migration in Germany as well. You look at like Kai Havertz and all these other players who've got heritage, Mesut Ozil. But yeah, just for me, again, I would rather represent the country that makes me feel positive at the time.
I think that's where the decision hits. I think it's to you as an individual.
Yeah.
On a personal level, where do you feel your allegiances lie? Purely because and it could be because of your heritage. It could be because this country's given you a new home, a new chance at life, or
it's a hard decision.
It is, yeah. It's sort of like do you go with the? It depends on your personality.
Raheem Sterling had the opportunity, Jamaica background. He would have loved to play, but England on a level he could be the first 11 player and become that idol for kids of Jamaican roots.
Yeah.
In England,
I just think it's different when you're that good. I think it's when you're that next tier down.
Yeah, it's like when you have the opportunity. Like I know a lot of players have moved to China in the past, and like they're Brazilians or they're South Americans. I think even a lot of the Gulf region, like Qatar, they've had players or athletes move to play in their local leagues for years and years.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernaroli, for example.
Yeah. Plays for Australia,
Uruguayan, played in the league, Europe, came to Australia, played here for a few years.
Yeah.
And now he's representing the green and gold.
Yeah.
To him, it's like allowed him to raise his children, allowed him to live a life of, stardom. But also, he would love to represent Uruguay, but unfortunately, I think timing-wise, it just didn't work out for him. So green and gold was the team for him. Still funny to see. I love Bruno.
Especially because he's got such a thick accent still as well, which is kind of cute. Like, it's nice seeing someone that's...
But that's the thing, like, Lamptey to Ghana, for me, I say, good.
Oh, yeah. I think it's great. Good on him. You know what? It's an opportunity there for him. So
Inaki Williams recently chose Ghana as well, a player who's well known for Real Betis and Atletico... Bilbao.
Yeah,
Not Real Betis.
Athletic Bilbao.
Atletico Bilbao. Sorry, I don't know what's saying Betis before in our pre-warm-up.
Okay.
But Inaki Williams, a player of, you can say the stat, but this guy, being not only one of the loyal players of this club, he's had his own record-breaking, being one of the first from that club in a different situation than most Bilbao, because under Herrera, I learned when we signed him at United, he was like one of the first players that taught me the whole situation at Bilbao.
Yeah, so so explain that situation. So they can't play players from
I think they're really positive about bringing players through their academies, kids in their system or their town. Yep. It's like this sort of like we represent who we are.
Okay.
And Inaki Williams and his brother, like literally, were one of the first ones. You can search the stat up if you want, but like the fact that he's chosen Ghana for a country that's given him this thing, like that's a situation now.
That's interesting. That when you have such a pro,
he's such a good player.
But it's like a pro community kind of setup, and then you would assume that he's going to play for Spain, not being that he's come through this this sort of like community or culture within that club, and then he gets to the senior level, plays 276 games with the club, and I think what was it? It was something ridiculous for how consistent. 237 games consistently without missing a beat. Gets an ankle injury obviously last week and still didn't miss. Still played, which is great. But yeah, it's very weird that he has not stayed and played for Spain.
One game for Spain, 2016. Nothing since then. He's 28 years old.
Youth team?
No, national team.
Oh, so he's played a senior cap.
Yeah, and then he's represented the Basque country in 2018 to 2020. Another situation with the whole Spanish countries, Basque. But like now, so I'm reading here, 2016. So the Ghanaian team had scouted him, and then now he's in 2022 July announced he's making himself available for the African nation in 22 World Cup. So he's going to the World Cup potentially with Ghana. Did they make the World Cup? Yeah. First call up for the friendlies against Brazil and Nicaragua. So I think that's good for him because one, it's the Spanish team's fault there.
Loss,
having an amazing footballer. And a dedicated footballer.
I'd love to know, if someone knows the answer to this, put it in the comments. I'm sure someone will have to know this, but what are the parameters around, once you've already made your senior debut for a national team, making that switch? I know we've mentioned a million times Diego Costa's done it.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of other players that have done it as well. How do you make that switch after already playing for the national team? I always thought it was...
You get like a clearance from FIFA.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it's circumstantial. Like it's not like it's a war-torn country or anything like that.
Well, with another player from England to another country, so Matty Cash, someone I used to sign on FIFA a lot.
Yeah.
Recently went to Villa, I think like 2 seasons or 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, decided to play for Poland, family background, heritage. Seeing the surname Cash alongside Lewandowski and Kuchka and all these other ones, it's just one of the funny things. But that is the modern world we live in, where surnames don't really have representation of your family, because you could be more connected, like yourself, Paul Blake, but loves Italy more than, you know, like...
I would say more.
What was your, like, mum's surname? You don't have to say it, but, like, was it really...
Soriano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather that surname?
No, I don't have a preference.
I don't know. I always felt as a kid for my surname as the back as Australian background, Australian Macedonian, Kostinowski. I was like, no chance if I was to make it professionally would I have that on the back. So every time I played FIFA, it was just Alexander. And I was like, I felt that was a lot more.
You're so Brazilian.
It was a lot more like shirt selling. Can you imagine making a national team? It's like, yep, Blake.
Yeah, but that's like Van Gogh of Hesselink. Like, it's fully curved and it's like literally like hip to hip of the name set.
You look at some players like in the Brazilians, like Anthony or Fred.
Yeah.
Like, they got this massive surname. It's like Fred. But it's like...
Yeah.
Alexander to me sounds a lot more of a promotional name sound.
Alex
FIFA.
de Souza de Kostinowski would be awesome. I love that.
But that's been amazing. Of course, Australia and Croatia had that situation. A lot of them swapped. But that's in a whole scenario. If you have any others that you can think of, let us know in the Reels or TikToks or YouTube.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, this is called Between Two Shirts. Maybe we can move into something a bit more shirt topic.
This camera and this camera. Okay, so I put the stat out, the poll out. So I said, would you wear tucked in or tucked out shirts? Mm-hmm. Now, I had a photo of my mate Jamie in the Roma shirt for Ultra, and it was tucked in. And this gentleman, I can't remember his name, it's not Salmon, he goes, why would you tuck your shirt in? Why not? I asked. The real question to me is...
I'm actually confused.
Why even care if someone tucks or doesn't tuck in their shirt?
This is hard to convey tone, obviously. This isn't a comment on TikTok or Instagram or something.
It was on the reel, on the photo, sorry.
So...
No, it was ...
Do you think maybe he's like prehistoric and hasn't seen someone tuck their shirt in before? And it's like, why would you tuck in your shirt?
My main question is, if you're someone that wears shoes without socks, that's the crime in history. Do not wear shoes without socks.
Those poor shoes.
But if you tuck in your shirt or don't tuck in your shirt, that's totally up to you.
Who the hell cares?
I know. Look, I love a tucked in shirt, but I'm also wearing my shirt today tucked out because it's a player spec Adidas shirt, and tucking it in does not work.
If I wasn't rocking a donut, I'd definitely be tucking my shirt in a little bit more often. It's great for those guys that have the body.
Look, I love tucking in shirts. Like when I wear an outgoing shirt, like even t-shirt with like nice suit pants, like I like tucking it in. I just feel it's makes me feel a bit more blasé. But yeah, look, football shirts on the pitch. I love a tucked in shirt. Reminds me of what's his name, Roy Keane.
Yeah,
tucked in, you see tuck out. You're like, he's definitely reached out and had a bit of a lunge.
Yeah,
I don't know. Aesthetically, what do you think on the pitch?
On the pitch, I like. Actually,
you're making a FIFA player on FIFA.
Yeah.
Tuck in or tuck out shirt.
You know what I was always a fan of, and I'm literally going to sit on the fence here. There was a stage where Budjo used to wear the front in, the back out.
That's a French tuck.
Yeah. But so the back back in the 90s was long as. So it would be like, you'd almost have no shorts on the back.
Yeah.
You'd be running around, you just see these ass.
Yeah, you see those the footage from the past.
Like a dress shirt.
Literally. And look, I think Maradona tucked in his shirt. Ronaldo doesn't tuck in his shirt. You choose.
Yeah, who cares?
You get me? Who cares?
Yeah.
Look, I really enjoy tucking in football shirts. Even when I used to play, I used to love tucked in, long sleeve. And I was always that person. I used to watch Beckham take his free kicks, and he always used to hold his cuffings.
Yeah.
And I always made sure if I was on free kick duties, even if it was just a long kick from the back, I was a defender. So every time I had to kick the ball down, I always held my thing. It was like a ritual. So if you tuck in your shirt and it's a ritual, if you tuck in your shirt for fashionable things,
yeah. Or if the FFE or FFA decide to make it a rule again. Remember back when we were kids, you used to have to tuck your shirt in. Otherwise,
yeah, I check your studs. It's like, what I even saw the other day, actually. Ref checking a pro player studs. What are you checking for?
Yeah, we used to sharpen them. It's not
These guys don't even choose their boots. They get free boots, unless they're like a youth kid. But why are you checking Premier League players' boots?
Pepe's sitting there on the sidelines just scratching the studs to sharpen them on the way in before a game.
Do you think shin pads are sort of forgotten about?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
In the Sunday League level, definitely not, because if you're going up against Craig's definitely going to break your shins.
Yeah, 100%.
But if you're playing on the weekend and it's Mbappe versus, I don't know, Anderson from Fulham. Was it Fulham? When Nunes, who was that team they had a fight with?
I don't know who you're talking
Nunes
about.
got a red card. and the guy like elbowed him.
Nunes.
Yeah, from Liverpool.
Oh, last like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Fulham?
Like,
Was it Fulham?
I
No.
was just thinking.
Oh,
of,
yeah,
I was thinking about the
Brentford?
defender recently. Okay, let me say that again. If you're Mbappe going up to play, say like in our time that we loved, Gattuso, would you wear shin pads?
Oh, yeah, you probably would. You probably wear surfboards.
Man, I don't know. Shin pads have not been promoted lately.
You know what I actually found too? And like, what do they stop? Like, if someone's going to break your leg, the shin pad's probably not going to help that much.
You reckon?
I don't know.
Helmet.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to break your leg, it's going to break your leg.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like, I feel like it stops little cuts and shit. That's about it.
Yeah. I just think there's so many things in football at the moment. Like even goalkeeper paddings on the shirts have gone. And it's funny because I watch my
Yeah.
brother dive sometimes and I'm like, that would hurt.
I miss the padding. The padding just looked cool.
The padding was cool, but I love buying goalkeeper jerseys now, like collectors, like the new ones.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, there's no padding at all.
I miss that keeper that used to wear the full grey track pants.
Oh, he played in Hungary.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name, but he played with David Williams from
Oh, really?
Australian football. He played in Hungary before he went to India. And
That's
yeah,
cool. That's a bit
they
of a
played
vibe.
together. Yeah,
I
it
like
was
that. And
amazing.
when they're wet, they look all soggy.
Yeah,
It's not
and
great.
He,
Look like a
he
kid that
played
shit
in the Premier
himself.
League. No, someone else in the Premier League wore it. Was it Pepe Reina used to wear pants?
Yeah, he was too. Yeah, he was right now. Yeah.
So where's the ball guns?
I'm going to come in next week wearing sweatpants and I'm just have a wet patch.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no ruling about goalkeepers not wearing pants, but I think goalkeepers wearing hats. I think Dean Henderson, the former United keeper at Nottingham Forest, he wore a hat. And I don't know, wearing a hat just looks so old school. It's
cool,
always
though.
funny when the choice of hat, it's like always a membership hat.
Yeah. It's always like, oh,
Is that
hey.
actual pro goalkeeper hat?
No, I reckon they're like, oh, shit, it's sunny. Hey, get the club, man. Hey, can you get me a hat from somewhere?
You just remind me of something, the topic, the defibrillator.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
forgot
we'll talk about that. But
Yeah,
quickly,
yeah.
I love seeing goalkeepers go up to the fans, get the hat, chuck it on. It's like this random guy's hat.
Oh, that's a perfect segue, actually. Goalkeeper.
Do you want to mention the situation?
Yeah, so...
Because there was another topic we forgot about. We probably have to cram it in. We've got like maybe, I reckon 5 minutes.
okay,
Let's go.
so Cadiz versus Barcelona.
Yep.
I think the way that they reported it was a decompressed heart, which is
Yeah.
like heart failure, I guess.
Decompensated.
Decompensated. Sorry, yeah, decompensated. Sorry, butchered that one. So decompensated heart, and from what I saw, it looked like the Barca medic threw a defib to the keeper.
Of Cadiz.
Yes, of Cadiz, and then from
Huge.
Cadiz keeper runs to the sidelines, throws it into the stands, and then
Help the fans.
helps. Yeah, and I think that saved his life.
Yeah, it would have been
So-
all over the news if it was the other
Yeah,
way
yeah, yeah.
around. But like,
someone obviously administered the defib.
amazing to see, like, there's defibs across Australia. It's like a law now in sports facilities that
amazing.
have to have defibs. It's just crazy to think that, we're in a generation where we're seeing this, just the help to players to the fans.
Yeah.
It's crazy at a time that would be like this, don't talk to the fans, don't do this. You know?
Yeah, I know.
But it's amazing, the whole situation. I kind of think that maybe some countries don't even have that sort of facility. So it's good that the actual staff helped.
It's incredible. And this is kind of like what I was saying at the start, like, with the whole, do they play football because of the Queen's passing? Like, football's so powerful in so many ways. Like, that's such a good feel-good story. Let's make football a feel-good, like, environment. So don't stop it. Keep playing.
It was amazing. And look, I think seeing Hector Bellerin in a Barcelona shirt always makes me angry. I would love him to go to a club. I always feel like he'd be amazing at San Pauli. Can you imagine him?
Yeah, he's a bit of a,
him
bit
and
of a
Irvine.
vibe guy. Sampdoria,
Yeah.
maybe something like that. That'd be cool.
Depends, but like I really want to get a Barca shirt, the cross one
Yeah.
with Bellerin.
That is cool.
Something
Cool
about
kid.
that guy is just so good looking.
Yeah. Settle. You got a wife.
Oh my god. So the last topic we have to speak about before we end today's episode, FA Cup.
Yes.
So Oakley
Wow.
Cannons play against MacArthur. And not many know Dwight York is coaching there.
Yes.
I kind of hope that it's going to be an NPL team for the international viewers. NPL is like our lower level, no pro relegation. But yeah, so Sydney United beat Brisbane Roar.
Yeah,
Did you see the
huge.
goal? The winner.
No.
So a player flicked past it outside the 80-yard box. Player on the outside of the 80-yard box was facing away from the goals. Goals behind him. Flicks it like Burkham. Just flicks it over. Trufiro, player who played in A-League, was running outside the D. Ran inside. First time volley. Just bottom corner of
Beautiful.
the goal. Runs away. Tricky Trufiro. Amazing.
Incredible.
The fact that they scored that kind of goal against Brisbane Roar.
Yeah.
Charlie Austin, are beautiful.
Yeah.
To see the Croatians and all that, it was amazing.
Oh, it's so good. Obviously, big club,
Yeah.
big historical club, but semi-professional club at the same time.
Yeah.
So versus a professional.
There's some amazing players, like I said, Trufiro and
Yeah.
Devante Clark, and there's a few other players that played A-League. But yeah, look, it's good. It's good to see football like that, and it's good to see our national cup like the FA Cup in the UK. See lower league teams go and push the champions, and like not champions, but the A League level.
I almost want to see Oakley upset MacArthur purely because I feel like it's a sign of proof that I know they're knockout games, but it proves that we need a Div 2.
Yeah, but then in the FA Cup, like there's the big teams who actually care about the cup, and you look at Australia. Some teams don't even care about the cup.
Yeah.
You know, like it disappoints me when I see some teams just rock up, they try, they lose. Yeah, next year. You get me? Like, there's no hunger for the Australia Cup. The lower teams want it because it's like their chance on TV. Like my brother has been like always one round before that goes on TV, and he always wants to be that player that enjoys that moment.
Yeah.
And there's been players who've enjoyed, like our good friend Liam Boland has had some historical moments.
He's the king of the Australia
He's one
Cup.
of the leading goal scorers in the cup as well.
Isn't he? I think he is the all-time top scorer, isn't he?
Like the thing that's his stat.
Huge.
And no one's called him in the A-League is one thing I'll piss me off always.
Yeah.
And recent rumour MacArthur signing a player who plays for Barbados or Labrador or something. It's like, give the chances to the Aussies, yeah? Anyways, so yeah, MacArthur versus Cannons. I hope that Cannons win, but I kind of feel like MacArthur will win it, even though Cannons bet South Melbourne.
If MacArthur were to get through, I'd almost love to see Sydney beat them still. Purely to...
It'll be Derby as well when you think about it.
Yeah, true. But I'd love to see that NPL flex over the A-League.
MacArthur, for me, like, I kind of feel like they, again, like another team in Melbourne that I just don't want to say they weren't their names.
Yeah.
Cheated their way into the A-League.
Oh, yeah.
Just no identity.
I don't like it. Yeah. I still hate the fact that they're just like not giving any pre-existing club the opportunity to join.
Oh no, pre-existing for sure. Like, you know, look at Perth Glory. Like,
no, but I mean since the A-League started, they haven't.
I would
given
have
the opportunity
rather locations like Wollongong, who could have connected Campbelltown and Wollongong in that region.
Yeah.
Could have shared games, not just MacArthur.
Yeah.
And I would have rather seen a Tasmania team.
Yeah,
You get
true.
me?
Someone that doesn't have a team at all.
But like, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, whatever happens. Sydney United hopefully plays against one of those teams, and hopefully NPL team comes out of it.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. Amazing tournament nonetheless.
Love it. A-League starts soon. Really excited. Pop-up coming up in 4 weeks from now.
Yes.
Next week, international duties for myself. Woo! First time going to be going there. Hopefully Australia has a good game. Anything else we should look out for before next week's episode?
No, I think that's it. There's a lot going on here. So yeah.
New shirts on website?
Yeah, we got a heap coming in. So there's over, I think, 150 different items coming up.
Jesus.
So check out the website very soon.
Make sure to subscribe to all our socials. Of course, PFC Vintage on all Instagram and on Twitter.
Yes.
Doesn't tweet much, but if you want good Twitter beef, did you see my beef last night with this lady from the UK?
No, what happened?
Apparently, fathers should not change their kids' nappies.
Oh, what is...
Leave it to their mothers.
Is she the same lady that commented tucked in, tucked out?
Mate, look, if you're a dad, help your wife out. If you're a partner of the same sex, help your partner out. Who cares? There's no one's duty.
People are
Just be a good
idiots.
father, be a good mother. I'm really excited. There's a lot of things happening. I'm off to Sydney tomorrow with City's pre-season friendly against Western Sydney.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just so tired. That event yesterday cooked me. You got a busy day. Make sure to follow
Let's
me
do it.
on Talking Shirt and That Football Talk. Make sure to subscribe to our socials on Ultra FM. New shirts, as you can see behind us. New shirts over there. There's lots of new shirts. Lek Poznan, check that out. We should have probably brought some in.
Yeah.
Heaps of new boots. Make sure to go to Panenka. Any other shout outs?
That's it.
I love you, Mum. I love you, Chantel. Say something.
I probably say I love my wife too. I love you guys.
I love our children.
Oh yeah, that too.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.